I remember there was one where she used 2 different kinds of cleaners,
Oh, yeah.
and it created some kind of gas that knocked her out. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
better not clean.
that's what that was your, you weren't like, let me
Yeah,
write down what
yeah.
those chemicals are. You were just like, well, can't
Yeah.
clean. I'm not professional enough to do this.
Yep.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome to the Cookie Bookie Club. We're doing a bonus episode of Yesteryear. We all have read it now, and we're just so excited to talk about it. So it wasn't an official book club pick, but we just wanted to chat about it. So here we are. Okay, so I guess initial thoughts. What did you think of Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke? Both Mom and I went and met her in person. I have the
Different
book.
times.
Yep, hers in Chicago, mine in Madison, Wisconsin. I have my book here signed for the Cookie Bookies.
Cute.
And I just went for me, Mary. but she put an exclamation point after my name, so I was
Why?
surprised. I don't know. I think because I was talking about the Cookie Bookies, and I said that my daughter would be at the one the next night in Madison. So.
Yeah. So when I met her, I mentioned Mom, and she was like, "I love her."
There were so many people there. I
Yeah.
waited so long in line. It was, I always, whenever I go to Anderson's bookstore, their independent bookstore, and they have these wonderful authors come in, and so many people come to see them. And so according to when you bought your ticket is how you get into line to get an autographed book. And I have waited over 2 hours before to get, and I think this was another one. And I had to work the next day, and I was getting really nervous because you get so far along, and it's like, okay, do I just give up and go home, or do I, stick it out because I've already put an hour into this, so.
I feel that like, especially in like the Starbucks drive-through line, it's like, do you get out, or you've been waiting so long to get that coffee, you might as well get it.
Yes.
Yeah. So in Madison, it was a free event that was hosted by, like, they do a few book events each year, and like, so part of it is through the library. And so anyway, they had a huge room that was completely full, and I went early, and I was still in the overflow room, but I was like one of the first ones in the overflow room. And so we were right next to the actual room, but we had a screen, and the AC was out, and it was really hot. So it was it was nice because the overflow room had more ventilation, and I could pick my spot. Like, literally right behind me was where the line was going to form to get your book. So I was like second in line to
Nice.
get my book. So it worked out really well. I could still hear everything, see everything. The only thing was, a guy came and sat next to me, and he ended up just walking out like halfway through. So he didn't seem like invested in, like, or interested in what people were asking and everything. He seemed more like put off by everything. Yeah, so
He probably
it
saw
was-
the title and thought it was like actually about yesteryear.
Or maybe he thought it was a Western.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, okay, so I will say that this book, it has a lot of mixed reviews. It's definitely super, super popular. But the people that don't like it, I think, go into it excited that it's like trad wife, like, kind of, and they're interested to read about that and like the religious aspects, and then they're disappointed because there really isn't like a set religion. It's not like a fundy family book. And the author even says, like, she purposefully did not state a specific religion because the religion is really Natalie, the main character's like set of moral, like, she has her own moral code and her own way of life, and there's no organized religion that fits her code. And Anyway, I'm kind of jumping ahead because let's just go over the synopsis, I guess. So, Yesteryear follows a very unreliable narrator, Natalie, who is a trad wife influencer. She lives on a big farm with her husband, who comes from wealth, and they have a bunch of kids and animals and a whole following. And you're inside her head the whole time, and it's just crazy. The things that she says are just wildly inappropriate. And
Yes.
she gets the the narration of the book, it flops back to, I think it's 1855, I can't remember, but the 1800s, that she's kind of sucked into this 1800s world where she's like an actual trad wife without the
Yes.
influencing, and kind of deals with what she's coping with in that aspect. So it kind of goes back and forth until the end when they reveal what it all is, and we'll talk about that too. But first, we'll kind of go a little spoiler free.
Yes.
So when I went and heard her talk,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, like I think we've heard with the correspondent, remember we kind of heard the genesis of that story and how it started, and
Mm-hmm.
that's her first published book and it's taken off. And now with this one, this is also a first published book, but I felt like I didn't really get to know her genesis of the book. Like, I do know that she said that she's also an influencer in the fact that she has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so she felt like some of it was like her a little bit. And because normally when I go to these authors talk, that's my favorite part, finding out, okay, what popped into your head that made you think of this story,
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like I got it to a certain extent, in that what would happen if you woke up and you were really in the olden times. Okay. And then as I was reading this book, I was getting farther into it, and I was like, this is one of the first times where I wish I had read the book before I went to the book discussion,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like I would have um maybe had more questions. But I gotta tell you, I did not like it. The ending.
You
Oh.
didn't like the book?
I did
Oh,
not
she
like
didn't
the
like the
ending.
ending. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Oh, the
we'll
ending.
we'll
Okay.
wait until we
Okay.
like properly warn
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so I was going to say that the genesis of the book, I would think, is because if you listen to her podcast, it is very much like a deep dive into all of our culture and like things that are popping off in our society. And I love listening to her speak about her perspective on different things. And like, for example, I was listening to this podcast all about, like, she loves reality TV, and she'll
Same.
just go like deep dive into it. And she talked, I don't know if it was her or her co-host, but they talked about how reality TV at its core, like, people want conservative things. So like reality TV is actually very conservative, but like we don't recognize it. Like, if you think about Love is Blind, you want them to get married at the end, like The
Yes.
Bachelor. She says it so well, but we're rooting for people that are kind of like fitting all of the conservative norms in our society, even if like you can be the most progressive person and you're rooting for that. And like if you're watching Love Island, you're not like, most people aren't cheering when they're like cheating on each other or something, like you like the couples that are, but anyway.
I don't know. Right now, if we're going to talk about Love Island right now, everybody is kind of like, why are you guys all coupled up? Like, go explore
Okay, yeah.
other people. So I think Love Island is a little different. Just, I mean, look at how
Yeah.
much they make out, first of all.
Okay, Love Island
Um,
is on an island of itself. But like
but in
still
the
the whole
end, you want
point,
them to have
yes.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole point of the show is that you're finding love and finding one person. Like they're not bringing atypical couples together, you know. But anyway, so I'm guessing that the genesis has something to do with like trad wives. Like that is a thing right now. It is becoming very popular in our society,
Yes.
and I'm sure
Yes.
she's talked about it, and then like it developed from there. But what I did find out is that because it's going to be a movie with Anne Hathaway, she knew like the deal was made while she was writing the book
That's
that it would be a
crazy.
movie. Right. So
Wow.
it does make you think like how did she knew that it was going to be Anne Hathaway. So are you like writing the book and then kind of thinking of it through that lens, you know, through that
Yes.
character lens and the movie lens as you're writing it? But
Maybe when she like pitched it or whatever, like your first thing for your book, maybe they like sold it to her as like a book and movie deal
hmm.
versus just like usually when you get a book deal, it's just a book deal. But maybe they were
Mhm.
so like into the concept that they were like book
Right.
and movie deal.
Yeah. Well, and I know like one thing I remember from listening to the author was that she said that the actual term trad wife is only mentioned one time in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Hmm.
like she doesn't really love I don't know. I can't remember the reasoning, but like most of the questions had to do with trad wife, trad wife, trad wife, trad wife. But she made sure to specifically say, yeah, but I only mentioned that one time in the book because it's just not even I don't know how she worded it,
It's
but
maybe because she doesn't want people just focusing on
right.
the influencer part of this.
Mhm.
Except the influencer part is such a huge, it's half the book, you know, because they do go back and forth. So half the book is her being an influencer, and the other half is in, Pioneer Days.
Yesteryear. Right. Um so I feel like I'm just like going all over the place, but I did really like it and I was super excited to talk about it.
Okay, good,
So
good.
yeah, and I listened to the audiobook.
Oh, I wonder
Eh,
if that makes a difference or not.
I
Does her
really like the
voice change
audiobook.
in the olden times or no?
No. But
Okay.
like one thing that I didn't realize is that in the actual book like you can tell in the audiobook when she's kind of saying things to herself and when she's not, but like in the book it's italicized.
Yes, yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
that makes a difference towards the end because, like, as the book goes on, some of the things that you think she's saying to herself, she's actually saying out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, because she'll say, "Oh, I must have said that out loud,"
Uh-huh.
because people are
Yeah.
reacting to it. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So how do they do the italics when it's just in her head?
Like on the
You don't know?
audiobook.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just like her voice just changes a little bit. She's
Okay.
probably like, and then I saw so and so and da 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 da. You know, what you like it
Okay,
just kind of the
gotcha.
tone changes a little.
Okay. Because with the we discovered with the correspondent, they don't there's no way for them to vocalize. There's been a line through the words. Remember? It
Right.
just
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they still said that, but yeah, I hadn't realized that they had crossed a lot out in that. But yeah, so I really liked it. Mary Kate, what about you? I think I gave it a whole cookie.
That sounds right. Yeah, I really liked it too. It was a really fast read, which was nice.
It
Um,
was fast.
yeah. And I was just like obsessed with the concept. I thought it was so funny and there was a lot of humor in it too. So like I
Mhm.
was finding myself giggling. Um, and it was interesting because like the premise of the book, like what you read on the back is like I don't even think it like fully encompasses like there was so much that I was reading and I was like I would have never guessed that this would be happening in the book right now based on like what I
Mm.
read on the back of it. So I feel like it was a lot more layered than
Yeah.
the description. But I think I also gave it a whole cookie because
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like going into it, you do think this is mainly about her struggling to live in the yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out it's like, no, she just sucks at living in any year.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
she's just so
Yes.
mean.
She's
And
crazy.
Yes.
yes, yeah. So okay, let's armchair diagnose her. I think she's a sociopath.
Yeah, I have no idea what she is.
But I don't even know if I would guess sociopath because like
Yeah.
they still like try to show that they care. And I don't know if she like really tried. If we're talking about like Ted Bundy, you know, like when he was
Oh,
so
like they're trying to
charming.
emulate.
Yeah,
Hmm.
is what everyone would say. And I
Uh,
don't think people would be like, "Oh, she's so charming," if they like knew her in person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
she
but she
yeah.
definitely
definitely
had that change of personality when she was on camera.
yeah, she definitely gave off the vibes of something was off.
Maybe
But
narcissistic.
Yeah.
um
Well, yeah. Because that's a good point about because sociopath is like under the narcissist umbrella. But because I was just thinking how she tried to mimic.
mhm,
But
Mm-hmm.
in the mirror and stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
but that's a good point about yeah, she wasn't very talented at showing that she cared or trying
Yeah.
to show that
Mhm.
she
Maybe she's
cared.
just a bad sociopath.
Maybe. But yeah, I think she just more than anything is like mom likes to say a holy roller. Like she just
Yeah.
thinks
Oh my
she
gosh, I know.
she just thinks like her poop doesn't stink
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
no one does life better than she does.
Well,
Yeah.
here's something to consider too. This is what I thought of. She had to sign that prenup. So she felt like she was stuck. Okay.
Mm.
So she's stuck with a guy she can't, who's kind of an idiot or whatever. And she has like the house isn't hers. That's the first thing I saw. The house wasn't hers. If they were to divorce or something, not that she would consider a divorce, but if they did, she'd get nothing. Absolutely nothing. And
Well,
so that always creates a problem.
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I'm just going to say spoilers ahead because I don't want to
Yes.
tiptoe around details and I feel like there's something new in every chapter, so it's hard to talk about the book in general.
So
So
can I say
beware.
though, with nice, when you were talking about nice, how
Mm-hmm.
the mother says you think kindness is some silly, frivolous side virtue, when it is in fact the whole thing.
So the mom and the sister were like so fascinating to me because
Yeah.
I loved how they grew as
Mm-hmm.
individuals
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
I also just it was crazy how Natalie had all these opportunities to build relationships and to build a life that was good and she just demanded that she had things her way, which weren't,
Mm-hmm.
like her husband was wanted to be a teacher, enjoyed being a father, and she like pushed that away as being bad. And then her sister, who's getting divorced would have been a really good person to connect with and have on at her side and
Mm-hmm.
she like shamed her away and just the opportunities of her to have just a nice normal life like she
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
was married to a rich guy
Yeah.
who just wanted a normal job and it just like he was definitely not great but he evolved into something bad.
His dad
Mm-hmm.
was so controlling,
Yeah,
and all the money was really the dad's money. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
maybe if they had started out on their own without his money, maybe it would have
Yeah.
been different.
That's true.
I also thought it was strange when she was like meeting with him and she was like having sexual fantasies about his dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't
like,
remember.
ew. But I think she's just like very attracted to like the
Powerful men.
stereotypical man in charge type
Mhm.
of thing,
Mhm.
but she definitely crossed a line thinking about her husband's dad.
Yeah. It was all interesting because she was actually more like stereotypical male behaviors, and
Mhm.
her husband was more stereotypical female,
Yes, I
and
agree. Mhm.
that's not a bad thing at all, but like in her mind
Right.
it is like, but
Mhm.
oh, Ballerina Farms. Have you heard of that Instagram?
No.
No.
So that is kind of like the rumored influencer that is most like Natalie, like the
Mm.
Yesteryear thing, because she is a former ballerina and beauty pageant person, married this guy who has a lot of money, and they bought all this land in Utah and have a farm. They have like a ton of kids, but there's always rumors of like,
Mm.
because she says she has her kids at home, but then there's like evidence that she was in a hospital. And so it's like, why are you lying about having your kid in a hospital? And like,
8
there was a whole
children.
controversy. Yes, there was a whole controversy of her like farm selling raw milk and everything. And that was also
Mm.
something in the book,
Mhm.
that they get
Yeah.
in trouble
Mhm.
for. So it's interesting because a lot of people hate follow ballerina farms.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's what I think Natalie, her Instagram
Mhm.
turned into a hate follow page,
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
so she
And
kind of created this monster.
there was a part because I ended up writing it down is that there was some really mean things said, you know.
Mhm.
I was like the texts that she was getting were actually pretty scary, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, I did make note of that. I was also getting a little confused with the timeline because on one of the pages it says, for the first time in almost 20 years, I realized something strange. The world didn't stop when we, left it. So, but I thought Mary was like 13. So how could it be 20
Oh,
years?
so
What do you mean?
I had read somewhere how her kids, they seemed like they were younger, like Mary and the little one, like they seemed younger than what they were because they were malnourished.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought she thought, when she first falls into the
Mm-hmm.
yesteryear, it sounds like she thought that daughter was 13 also, the
Right, because
oldest
that's
one.
what she looked like. But
Okay,
but she
gotcha.
was actually older.
Okay.
Right, because
Mhm.
they were like they hardly ate.
Yeah, well, and I mean they probably ate better than people in the yesteryear because they were getting it
Maybe,
was
yeah.
just a pairing.
Yeah, the whole thing was just so okay, so we find out that the big twist is that they aren't actually in the yesteryear. She that they're just like living somewhere on the land and
Well,
pretending like it's
they're in the actual house because they said they ripped up the floors.
oh, okay.
They Yeah, they
Mhm.
ripped up the floors to make it look old and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, but it's like they're cosplaying yesteryear,
Mhm.
but she is so mentally unstable that she
Mhm.
doesn't realize it.
Mhm.
So she
Mhm.
must have had like it almost seems like she had postpartum psychosis or something, like or she had just unraveled so much by then or unmedicated or I'm not sure what it was. But
yeah, because I thought it was kind of, after everything is all revealed and stuff because she is such a like there's such an awakening like, oh my god, what's going on here,
mhm.
like who are these people, they've kidnapped me, what's going on, like she can only remember say 20 years ago then or now,
Mhm.
according to this last quote. So it's like I wonder if something didn't trigger that. And the only thing I could think of was they had said they were grinding up medicine
Right.
and giving it to her.
Mm.
Did they stop doing that or something and she all of a sudden woke up, or
Yeah.
but she had to have been awake ahead of time because supposedly she's the one who taught Mary how to make biscuits and stuff. So
Right.
she, but she seems to have an amnesia from when she was pregnant with Mary until all of a sudden,
Yeah. Well, the whole
she's
thing was triggered by the husband cheating on her with the one worker.
Amanda, yeah. Is
Um,
Amanda?
I
Shannon?
thought it was Shannon. Yeah,
Shannon, yeah, okay.
Shannon. And the controversy that was coming from that, like her house was just, falling, everything
Mhm.
that she cared
Mhm.
about. And so that seemed to trigger something also. And the fact that she was pregnant when that happened,
Yeah.
right, with
Mhm.
Mary.
Mhm.
And so I feel like something like that. But yeah, it was confusing, especially like when then she was like worried about being pregnant and like
Though, though I gotta
that was
tell you, there is somebody in the real life that happened to. They thought they were pregnant and it was menopause.
oh my
Ugh.
gosh.
I thought all the stuff with Shannon was interesting. How like
Yeah, what did you think of her?
I thought
I
she
almost
was
felt like
weird.
she was undercover, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought that she was kind of one of the I was skeptical of her. I
Mhm.
was like, why are you really here? But also,
Mhm.
like, you think of the fact that the person that's telling the story is Natalie the whole time. So you're only seeing these people through her lens.
Mhm.
And if you
Mhm.
kind of think about it from another perspective, obviously these kids are not in a healthy place. Like
Mhm.
Clementine's education, like she doesn't even know what an ocean is. And so I
Yeah.
feel like at no matter what capacity, if I came into that house, I would be like, we got to get these kids out of here. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
every time, do you remember the show Wife Swap?
yes,
Yes. Of
I love that
course.
show.
Every single time they had a mom who was doing the homeschooling. I am sorry, but they
Oh
just
no.
didn't want to have to get up in the morning and get their kids to school.
Or so I could also see them wanting to like be in charge of their kids' education, but not knowing that like so much goes into it. And like they think they can do a
Mm,
better job than
mhm.
the teachers.
Oh,
Right.
so
And
yeah.
then like everyone from the outside is like, no, you cannot. And this is not going well. But they can't be like,
Well, and I think the thing is a lot of times people will want to homeschool because of the influences of, say, the public school or something like that. Like they don't want their kids influenced by worldly stuff.
Mhm.
mm,
And so, but then it takes a special person to be a teacher. It really
Mhm.
does. And just, you can't just, yes. You can't just because you're intelligent or whatever doesn't mean you can teach other people. And now I was around somebody who did do homeschooling, but they had a schedule. She got a curriculum from the state. Every day they got up, they did calisthenics for gym. It's serious. And that wife swap, I just felt like they just were la-di-da
Well,
and
yeah, they're on
whatever the kids want
television.
to do.
Well, I mean, there's definitely like different categories of homeschoolers. Like there's people that
Mhm.
are just they call themselves unschoolers, that they're unschooled. So they don't want their kids to have any influence, of like society
Mhm.
norms.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then
oh
there's
God.
there's people that have access to all kinds of things that would provide like can provide a better education than the public school system. Those are the people that are not just like sitting inside all day. They're like,
Mhm.
they have people tutors and all that.
Okay.
um
Mhm.
the problem that I have with homeschool in general is that there's no vetting. And so
Mm.
Mhm.
there's really not any good way. It's all like dependent by the state, by the county, like how to measure if a kid is growing,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's just so much is just, okay, it's up to the parents, but it's such a common way to hide abuse. And
Yes.
so
Yes, I
that's
agree.
what
Mhm.
I just feel like I think parents should have a choice, but I think that there should be a lot more protections in place for kids.
Mhm.
And like kids need to be socialized, and that's what I struggle with, like some homeschoolers that I know that they don't join in anything in the
Mhm.
community,
Mhm.
and I worry for them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But and when I read that where she didn't know what an ocean was, all I could remember was when he was so little. I think he was 2 years old, and we took him to that movie, and you
Oh,
went to go get the popcorn, and he looks up and he goes, "Oh, look, an island." And I was like, "How does he know what an island is?" The whole concept, I was just like in total shock. That's just
probably
my
Diego.
yeah, I'm just like, that's
No.
my totally intelligent grandson,
Oh
you
my
know?
God.
Totally intelligent.
That's
He's like
funny.
using all of these big words, and
Yeah.
mom is like, my
Yeah.
totally intelligent grandson.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God, that's so funny. Yeah, the ocean thing was scary, funny. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. I loved Clementine. Well, I guess we kind of already talked about religion and her.
I did, when you said about me and Holy Roller, that's what I was getting. I realized it was kind of how she got through situations, like she's talking to God. But it was like, it was a little too much for me, I guess,
Mm.
just for me personally.
Sometimes I didn't even think she was trying to talk to God. I just felt like it
Mhm.
was like she is the center of her own religion.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, okay.
so I
Okay.
feel like it's almost like she's given herself a pep talk. Like,
Mhm.
she, so I don't know.
yes. I also think there's so many different ways to like have a relationship with God and all that
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
the way that she was talking about it, and the way I've seen like other people in different like levels of religion is that they'll be like God is very far away,
Mhm.
and you have to like everything is so negative. So I also think like when she was talking to him, um it's like a little bit more detached than like what other people do with religion.
Well, I feel like she represented the really, I don't know. There are definitely people in the media that preach like they're all
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
God when it comes to certain like political statements and
Mhm.
certain viewpoints,
Mhm.
but like it's all very surface level. Like there's nothing beneath the surface of like I actually am a religious person or I'm a spiritual person. It's just like this is kind of what I need to say and do to get what I want. And
Mhm.
so I think that she really, because obviously the book was snarking on right wing, far right policies,
Mhm.
and because they talk about the manosphere and all that stuff that is really that like right wing propaganda. And so I don't know, that's kind of what I thought with her was there's so many people that are in the super far right that are kind of bark these certain things, and
Mm.
there's nothing
Well,
really behind it.
I do think it really brought in on how social media is kind of like a fake persona.
Mhm.
Everybody puts their best foot forward on the Instagram or whatever. And but beneath the surface, nothing is that perfect. No
Well,
family
plus,
is
like, also, I don't. This sounds so mean because I also don't want to see people like crying on Instagram. Like,
right.
Yeah, that too.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
either.
so
You want your Pollyanna site.
what?
What?
Have you never heard of Pollyanna where everything is
No.
perfect?
Oh no, I
No,
thought
I
that
thought
was
that
like
was
pro
like,
Anna, like pro
oh my
anorexic. I thought
God.
that's what you were saying.
I was
And
thinking
then
like
poly.
polyamorous.
Yes.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I gotta stick this in here
So you're
somehow.
gonna get
Because-
get your editing tool ready and get to
Yeah.
edit out whatever she says.
When she is in the yesteryear, like, she really liked having sex with that guy
Yeah,
in the
her husband.
yesteryear.
Even
Yeah.
though it was the same
Old
person.
Caleb. But you don't know that. And it was like, I was
Oh,
like,
you don't
oh,
know
she's
it
kind of,
first, yeah.
yeah. So I was like, oh, she likes being with this guy because, but I mean, when you first meet him, he slaps her, so that
Yeah.
was
Well,
kind of
I
crazy.
also think that like I mean, yeah, anything is better than what she was having.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like-
God, yes.
Like, yeah, I'm sure that was like, oh my
And you
God,
wonder
this
if
is so
that-
different.
And would what she was doing, would that really work? Look at people are paying 40,000
Oh,
plus
yeah.
to get inseminated. Would that have really worked?
Yeah, I have no idea. Is Sandra frozen? Oh, no.
No. I'm just thinking.
I don't think it would really work because from what I heard from like my like body classes is once it's in the universe, it's like kind of dead. That's why like
But
when they
there's also those people that are like virgins that become pregnant.
Yeah, you can
Because it
definitely
just
get
gets a
pregnant
little
with a
too
turkey
close.
baster, but you just have to be quick with it, I think.
yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I don't know how else to contribute.
yeah, but I was like, yeah, that was crazy when it was talking about like their intimate life, and I was like,
Yes.
I was like kind of thinking like maybe he's closeted,
That's what I was
because he
thinking.
wasn't really
really?
like attracted to her, it seemed, or maybe he just, but then he like cheated, so maybe he just wasn't attracted to like
Right.
her.
I don't think they didn't actually have intercourse or anything, that Shannon and him.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
but
not.
I think yeah, but
They were just
I mean,
chatting.
he could later on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I do think that he was able to have like real conversations with her, and I don't think
Mhm.
he could do that with Natalie.
Well,
And
because she
yeah.
was like, "Oh, you're such a wonderful guy. You're so perfect." Whatever guy
Oh,
wants to hear.
Shannon was. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
and
part
I
didn't really make sense to me because it's
Mm.
like, okay, I don't know.
like
girl,
why
what do you
she
see in
like went to
him?
go talk to
Yes.
him. I think so. What I could see is that she was like kind of stuck there, and she was like, "Well, I might as well like have fun," and that she was like, she probably also wanted to get back at Natalie a little bit
That's
as
true.
well. Because she was like I remember she was like trying to talk to Natalie about something, and Natalie just like really shut it down.
Yeah.
And then so she was talking to him, and because he's kind of dumb, she was like, I can get some information from him.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So I think that's
So
what like prompted it.
Yeah.
So here was another thing where she didn't have control, because did you see how when Shannon came in, she started taking total control of all the website stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So here now she's living in a house that isn't actually her house. She has money, but it's not really her money. Like she'll never get any of it. And now her website has been taken by Shannon,
Mm.
because she started having total control over all
Mhm.
content.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there was part of her that liked it, that she didn't have to do part of it, but there was also part of her that she was threatened by Shannon
Mhm.
already.
Yeah. I did think that like showing her in the yesteryear showed that Natalie, like, she wasn't only influenced by her like being an influencer. Like her personality was the same no matter
Mm-hmm.
what.
Oh,
And
yes. I
whereas
agree.
I
Yes.
think that a lot of influencers, if you take away that part, then they'd be
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
I no longer care about making sourdough, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that. Yeah. It was almost like she had to prove her point. No, I really am, because it was all crumbling down. And it was
Mhm.
almost like she was saying, oh, you're going to be sorry because I really am this kind of a person, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, like, even her thought processes, like, she's still, I don't know. She seemed, from what I remember, she did seem a little bit more caring in the yesteryear. Like, I guess maybe thoughtful of the kids. Like, she was worried about the
Mhm.
youngest being
Mm-hmm.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but, but
Well, the
yeah.
youngest was also the only one who was mama, mama,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But
So what
but
did you, yeah, go ahead.
so that turned out that she had what how many kids? 8, 9 kids?
I
9
don't
kids?
remember.
No. Oh, here I have um. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 kids.
Well, there were 4 kids in the
Oh, yeah.
yesteryear, and she was 4 pregnant with the
Oh,
5th,
yeah.
right?
Sorry, I always think that Mary is Clementine for some reason. Yeah, so
Oh,
Okay.
8. There's 8.
Okay.
yeah. So, Mom, you had kind of chatted about this before, but what did you think of her leaving her kid in the parking lot at Target?
Oh my god.
That
Yes.
was not funny, but it was funny.
Yeah.
So, well, my gut reaction, because I told Sandra, I said, I have never done that. I used to take you kids,
And then
like,
I said,
even,
liar.
and then I was like, wait a minute, there was that one time. But I felt like, but never one little kid, like I always
Mhm.
took the
Yeah.
car seat out, even though it was, that there was just the one little store. It was a shed, in the town, and nobody came through that town, but I still would take because I had always watched Emergency. That was a show
Yes,
a long
emergency
ago.
911, because
Yeah.
that's why I was afraid of escalators.
Yeah, because they had like they would bring with the heat in the car,
Oh, yeah.
because the windows are up. But the biggest one I always remember is the car would somehow get into gear and start
Oh,
driving away with the kid in the car, buckled in the back. So I,
that show was really good for teaching people how to parent, I feel like, because
yes.
I still remember watching. I mean, I was so young, and like I was so afraid of ever leaving my kids for a second in the bathtub
Mm-hmm.
because of
Mm-hmm.
that show. It
Yes.
showed like
Yes.
she answered the phone and came back and he drowned,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. And the
My
other thing
God.
was
Yeah.
with cleaning, I remember there was one where she used 2 different kinds of cleaners
Oh, yeah.
and it created some kind of gas that knocked her out. And I'm like, well,
Oh, you don't remember the
better not
cleaners or
clean.
what gas? Oh, that's what that was your you were like, let me know, let me write
Yeah.
down what those
Yeah.
chemicals are. You were just like, well, can't clean.
Yeah. So,
I'm not professional enough to do
yeah.
this.
Yeah. So, and around that same time was Adam Walsh, where he
Oh,
was
yeah.
stolen. So
Oh,
that was another big thing,
America's Most
So,
Wanted. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I was
Yeah.
like, I was shocked that kid was in the car. I
Mhm.
was like, I you
Especially
can
at Target, because I feel like I
no, it's
have
Whole
definitely run
Foods.
into like the gas station really fast,
Mhm.
but like, where I have
It
eyes
was
on the
Whole
car.
Foods.
Oh, Whole Foods. Well,
Yeah.
same
No, I
thing.
thought it was Target.
No, she went to Target with her kids as like
Yeah,
a
that's right.
special
Oh,
treat.
oh,
But she
Yeah.
went
gotcha.
to Whole
Got,
Foods with
got.
the
Oh,
baby.
because
Yeah.
she had to get the ball of twine or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whole Foods is even, I mean, well, the one in Madison, it would be even worse because you have to park in the like
Yeah.
basement parking
Oh
and
my
then
God.
go
Oh
upstairs.
gosh.
But yeah, there's no Whole Foods where it's the same as Target, where you're like
Yeah.
leaving them in a parking lot and you don't have eyes on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially that young.
Right.
Once they turn 13,
They're on their own.
Well, it's almost like, good luck. I
Oh
shouldn't
my
say
God.
that because I'm sure some people have been, you know.
Yikes. I also, because Sandra, you said the thing about the escalators,
Yeah.
and I just haven't found a good time to jump in yet. But I vividly remember being at the mall with you and Chibi K, and the escalators were there, and you were telling me you can get your shoelace stuck in
Yep.
there, and then you'll get stuck and you'll die. And this is
Yep.
a vivid memory that I have from like
Yes.
who knows how old. I was eating fries, like we were just having a snack at the food court, and you were like, "You better tie your shoes, or they're gonna get stuck, and you're gonna
There
die."
was something about those episodes that it was just
Yeah.
like so traumatic, and
Yeah.
it's like they were just like reenactments of these
Yeah.
things, you know. But it was just like, yeah, the kid got his shoelace stuck, and then he died. And
Well, and Grandma has always
it's
talked
not
about,
funny.
No, it's not, but it's
Grandma's
funny.
always talked about how when you stayed with them for that time, you know, you kept the hoodie up, and they finally realized that you had never been on an escalator before.
Yeah, I'd
you
only
know.
watched it on Rescue 911.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yeah. Okay. So, what did you think of the ending? Like, were you satisfied? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the ending,
Mm.
the twist, and just the fallout.
so well, I'm glad that Clementine was able to come get those kids, you know,
Yeah.
because she should not have had those kids. And I'm glad she went to prison, you know. But so sometimes with certain shows and like this kind of a book, I'm like, how are they going to get out of this? How is this all going to wrap up? You
Mhm.
know, what's going to happen? I don't know if I was really crazy about how this one ended. And I don't know why. It's just a feeling of mine. And maybe because she was so crazy and maybe I saw too much of myself in her. I don't know.
What? I do not see you in her.
I do not
at
see
all.
you in her at all. At all.
And so it was just like, I was like, how horrible for those kids. I feel like the situation was hopeless a lot of times, you know. But I did want to, like they said, okay, in this little book club thing that I do once in a while, it said, would you recommend the book? I am still undecided whether I would recommend this book or not. And but I think the whole point of the book is, it says forward, time only moves in one direction, Mom. You know, like you can't go back. Like you need to move forward, you know, instead of back. That was Clementine talking to her.
That's a nice quote.
Well, yeah, because I heard somebody say something like the fact that she could even kind of cosplay this life was because of all the women that have made progress in history, you know? And so it's like,
Gotcha.
because the scary part of this book is that it's supposed to be satire, but it mimics real life in so many ways that part was so scary to me, is like the amount of times that something happened in the book where it's like, wow, they actually said that. They're actually doing that. And the amount of times that has happened in real life, especially political stuff, that I'm like, wow, they actually said that and got away with it. Like, and now they're being applauded. You know, how is this real life? I mean, and the author had talked about that, and her process was, you know, just kind of how life is like satire. And yeah, it is scary. And it also felt very much like a Black Mirror episode. Like,
Yeah.
A Black Mirror?
yeah, that's like a Netflix show. It's like
Oh.
really kind of dark.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I
this
forgot where I
was definitely
going.
not a light book, even though.
Well, I mean, I think it was very complex. Like, it's one of those books that it's easy to read,
Mhm.
And then when you stop to think about it, it's so complex. And I
Mhm.
think that's why it's been such a hit,
Taken
is
off.
because,
Mhm.
yeah, there's so many ways to interpret things and to talk
Mhm.
about things. And
I do agree with that. I do.
I also think that there was this theme of her having, which I think happens a lot with this typical type of person who is a woman, like this genre of people, of women, that it's like they hate women. They like she has
Oh,
so many enemies, and they're like mostly
yeah,
all women, and she hates when women are
they're
like
mostly
independent or
one-sided.
like yes, yes, she was tracking that girl from college, like,
Yes.
throughout
Mhm.
always, just, like, always comparing herself to her and, like, all this stuff, and I think it's rooted it's like a deep root of misogyny that, like, goes through like, she was obviously taught, these values through whatever, whether it be home or religion or whatever, just like that, like, women are the temptress and they're bad and all that stuff, so
Mhm.
she has a lot of internalized misogyny that she goes through, and, like, you can see that in her hatred towards other women and these, like, battles that she has with other women, because, like, all of her interactions is just, like, she's threatened by, like,
Mhm.
Yes.
all the women around her, which I thought was interesting, and I love reading books where I hate the narrator who's
oh,
Yeah.
talking,
really? Oh, wow.
so I enjoyed it.
I don't normally, but I did just really enjoy being inside her head.
Yeah.
I think I don't like when the narrator is like, I don't like hating someone because they're so mopey, and she
Okay,
wasn't
yeah, that's
mopey,
fair.
you
Yeah,
know?
she
Yeah.
was
Uh,
motivated.
yes, yes.
By
Darkly
her hatred,
motivated.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, because it is just like such a sad existence. Like she had no
Yeah,
friend. Like,
yeah,
and that was all her
no
fault.
friends.
You
Yeah,
know, I can't
yeah,
think of
and
like
you
even her own kids she couldn't get close to.
Right.
right, and you think, like, if she was, like, going to college and you think that, like, these type of people, they go to college, they get an education, they learn, they grow,
Right.
because they're, like, open up to experiences outside of themselves, but then she, like, found a way to, like, have her own room so that she's, like, more closed off,
Mhm.
um, and, like,
But
didn't connect with anybody.
I hate it
Yeah.
when people just all of a sudden turn around and, oh, they're so drunk, like,
No,
what
not
are you
drunk.
talking
Who
about?
said anything
Yeah.
about drinking?
Well, at the college with her roommate that first night, remember they kept
Mm.
having her drink something and she's just like, oh, okay, and I'm like, at one point, don't you say no?
I think
I
when
don't
you were in
remember that.
college, you were like, "Woohoo!" Based on all the photos we
Yeah.
saw, you were the
Yeah.
one probably giving out the shots.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a typical college experience, but I
Yeah.
but I also think like, because I don't really remember that scene, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like if she were to say, "Hey guys, like I'm not gonna, I don't feel comfortable drinking, but
Mhm.
I'm,
Mhm.
like let's still have a good time." Like I'm sure,
Right.
I feel like most
Mhm.
people can handle that
Oh,
response,
Yeah.
totally. Totally.
but
She was
she's
probably
just
just like
judging them.
she's
Mhm.
probably just like, "I'm not drinking,"
Right.
and
Yeah.
just like, yeah, judged
Yeah.
them as they're asking
Mhm.
her. And I think like whenever you like feel judged by someone else, you don't really
Mhm.
want to like
Right.
interact with them.
Mhm.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
yeah, overall I did really enjoy the book. I would recommend it to people.
Yeah, me too.
But the only thing that I was like I wish was different was that I wish she really was in Yesteryear. I was
Yes.
Oh.
like I kind of was hoping for that. Um just cuz that would have been more funny than like a
Yeah.
psychological break. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
sad.
I think that's where the disconnect is for me
Mhm.
with whether I like it or not, because I was really like trying to figure out a real way. Like, there's no way she could come back to now if she was really in Yesteryear, and it was just, it couldn't be like, what was that movie with Jim Carrey where he's in that kind
The
of
Mask?
land?
Liar,
Oh,
liar.
no. Truman
No.
Show. Truman Show.
Yeah,
Oh.
because when she finds the little microphone, I thought, oh, maybe it's like that,
Oh.
but then it couldn't because he hits her right away. Her legs caught in a trap.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
that
there
was
was
so
too much.
bad.
Yeah. And then the daughter stitches it up, so
Yeah. I mean,
but isn't it weird how both her teenage daughters hate her? Whether in now or then,
yeah.
She really is the problem.
Yeah,
You-
she is. Yeah. I really liked the twist in the ending because I feel like it was scarily, like I could see it happening.
Okay.
Like I can see
Yeah, it's definitely more
somebody,
realistic.
yeah, like people that are getting sucked into this, we have to like there's so many people that don't vaccine that are drinking raw
Yes,
milk
yes.
that we have learned that this isn't good and we're going back to it. And so I can so see somebody being like, we're going to live on this land as if it was the yesteryear, except I, the man, can have some modern conveniences and go watch the sports game at the shed,
Yeah,
and have like
yeah.
real food. And you
Yeah.
guys stay here, you women,
Yes.
and work,
But I think there was something I heard. I don't know, Sandra, if I heard it from you or not, but whereas because the world seems to be going so fast right now and there is so much social media
did.
Oh, yeah.
that people are starting to like, they're looking back a little bit to slow down, like this is just going too fast for me, and so
Yeah, I
they're
think it's like, especially when we talk about AI, when we have that conversation, I just think people are craving human connection and like they need to feel their
Yes.
feet on the ground. They need to feel
Yes,
grounded.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Go
so
touch
that's kind of why I
grass.
thought this book and The Correspondent, like those type of books and these kind of things that are influencing our society are really getting popular fast because I think we're all kind of craving that in
Yes.
healthy or unhealthy ways.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's why we started this podcast because it was COVID. I mean, not podcast, book club, because it was
Right.
COVID times and we were so, disconnected. And I just think really since COVID, like people are just clawing back at human connection. But
Which I think is a good thing.
yeah.
But as long as you don't take it to the extreme she did,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, she went to an outdoor toilet, I mean, I'm not giving up toilets. I'm just not.
Well, you did have a
Double
love
seater.
a love seat outhouse.
Yes.
Ew.
That was the bottom. That must
disgusting.
have been rock bottom for you.
Well, I was just like,
Yeah.
when I think of romance, that's not what I'm thinking of,
Go ahead.
I was just talking to someone about how, because they're looking for an apartment with their boyfriend, they're moving in together.
Oh.
And I was like, the number one thing is 2 bathrooms. You have to have a separate
Oh.
bathroom. That is like preserves so much sanity in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys have 2 bathrooms?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, you have
Yeah,
one
he
off
has-
your room.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
What were you gonna say, Sandra?
Oh, I was gonna say that I just remember the story, or I feel like I saw it in action of who was it that jumped into the outhouse to get their last thing of cigarettes?
That was Jonathan.
Oh.
He was like, because I always said I was so scared of one of you kids falling down in there, and he goes, "Oh, that'll be fine." He goes, "I jumped in because I dropped my cigarettes in there, and I turned out just fine." So,
That's disgusting.
and he was probably
disgusting.
13 at the time or something. Who
Oh my
knows?
God.
No,
Oh my
but
God.
the biggest thing I remember is that we needed our septic tank cleaned out, and so the two brothers, the one brother held the other brother by his ankles and dropped him
Ugh.
in to get the stick out of it. I thought,
Oh
you
my
know, in
gosh.
Chicago,
You were
boys have
living in
paper routes. They're not.
yeah. You were living in yesteryear
So,
for sure out there. That's crazy.
Yes, really.
You know, we did for a little bit because I was just telling one of my coworkers, you know, we went 4 months without electricity, you know, so that was a long time. But
I'm
Yeah,
so
that's
glad
crazy. I
you.
don't know. And did you have 5 kids at that point?
let me
Because
see.
was that in Armington?
That was in Armington, but I want to say I had 3. I had
Okay.
3 at the time. And but there were so many things. Like I had to go buy a vacuum that doesn't take any electricity, you know, and they
Oh
were
my
like, "Oh, well,
gosh.
here's a tank light." No, it can't. You know, I was trying to get the Bissell one where it's just a roller, you know,
Oh
that you
yeah.
push, and
Why
and
didn't you
then
guys
the
have
water was so cold.
why didn't you guys have
Oh, because
electricity?
so that was the other problem because okay, we couldn't afford our bills. So our bill it got shut off. So now, once you get shut off, not only do you have to pay your back bill, but then they put a huge deposit that you have to put on because they don't trust you now. So you're trying to get that back payment
Yeah.
saved and what the deposit is. So it's just so hard because people who don't have money, you know, it's like a
Right.
hole. And then I was having to
How'd you
go
guys come
down.
up with the money? What'd you do?
Well, it took 4 months to come up with the money.
Oh my
That's what it
gosh.
was, you know? So, had to keep saving, and
Wow.
so anyways, but
Depressing.
well, I'm gonna yeah. So I don't know how to turn around the cherry note. Well, we're not living in yesteryear, I guess.
Thank
Mom read the
goodness.
book and was like, "I'm not going back." she's
Yeah.
triggered.
No wonder you
You're
didn't
not
like
taking me
it.
back.
Yeah.
You're not taking me back. But
Yes.
yeah, so why would somebody choose to live like that? You know, it
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
hard. So,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
if you
so
guys could be like an influencer of any kind, what do you think your influencer shtick would be?
I feel like mine would be like something with food, cooking.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's probably it. I feel like that's all. But I
Oh
do
my
see the
God.
people that are running influencers,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, I could do that because they just run and they're so like happy and they just go mile 1, mile 2,
Oh
mile
yeah.
3, and I'm like, that's such a fun thing to do, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But yeah, either those two. What
And
about
there
you guys?
was a running influencer that I had been following and I really liked her a lot. And then all of a sudden she started selling stuff. And now everything that's on there is like her shoes, her socks, her, you know, and I'm
Used?
just like, I didn't want to see. Well, no, like she'll say, "Oh, these are the best socks," you know,
Like it's
and
very branded
it's
and
like yeah, where I liked her because she was from Chicago. She was running the Chicago streets in the morning, you know, and I felt like I liked her. And now all it is, I haven't seen a lot of her content because it's just all now she did do the 13.1, I think, but she got they're giving her bibs, you know, and I'm like, okay,
mm-hmm.
maybe she should have to try to get into the princess race like we did, you know?
Yeah. We should make a reel when we signed up for the Dollywood half marathon. Or well, we haven't signed up yet, but
Yeah.
we booked the resort because we're hoping to
Yeah.
sign up.
Yes.
We're started training, so we should do a reel when we
Yeah.
do
Which
that.
so influencer wise, what could I do influencer wise?
Well, I was
It'd have to
also
be sewing.
I was also gonna say that
Go ahead, Mary Kate.
the guy, have you guys seen the runner who's running every street in Chicago? He like
Yes, I love
Yes,
him.
I love
yes,
him
yes.
so much. Yes, so he's a good
And
runner
he,
influencer.
yes, and he was hanging out with Governor Pritzker too there for a minute.
Oh,
Hmm.
Because
yeah, that's a good connection for him
Pritzker's
to
been
make.
trying to lose weight. He's been trying to lose weight. And
Oh,
so they were doing something with a park or something like that.
Oh,
So
fun. Nice. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Okay, Mom, you said
Mom,
sewing,
I
like your
think
quilts.
yeah, that would be good. But I also think for you, Mom, if you just did videos of like a day and the come with me to work as a female
Yes.
electrician, I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
people would watch stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah.
I really feel like it takes up 3/4 of my life. My
Yeah.
working. Yeah.
Yeah. Also
So
depressing.
I don't know how cheery I'd be. I tried to be cheery, like come along with me to work. I don't know. Like
I think
I'm
you always sound like you're having a good time when I
yeah,
call
that's
you.
true. I like
Yeah.
the people. I really like
Oh, that's nice.
most of the people.
What about you, Mary Kate?
That's a great question.
Well, it was your question.
I know. Just patting myself on the back. I don't know. I think it would be like probably all my crafts. Maybe no, I would, and Christian is gonna get mad at me for saying this because he wants me to do it, but I won't. I would want to be a dog influencer and just film
That-
Sunny.
I was thinking that because I was thinking walks with Sunny.
Yeah.
Where you would go check out neighborhoods or, and walk with
I was
Sunny.
thinking-
Who do you meet?
I was thinking you would be like one of the talking heads that's talking about like reality TV,
Yes,
like
that too.
the tea.
That too. That
yeah.
as well. Yes,
Yeah.
because I know everything that's happening.
Mhm.
Christian tries to show me stuff
I
for
know.
Love Island, and I'm like, I already saw it. I already saw it.
Yeah,
I already know.
if we had more time, then we could chat about Love Island and what
Yeah,
we're watching and
but
stuff. But I know
Mom's
Mom
gonna
wants
like,
pizza.
yeah, she's gonna
because
flip.
I got a humongous day tomorrow and we got pizza in the oven. So,
What are you reading?
you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm reading The Road to Tender Hearts.
Cute.
And Tuesday is my book club on this. I'm the one who picked this. I'm probably not going to be able to make it, but I got to tell you, I am loving this book. I am
Aw.
definitely loving it, and he's so funny. The guy is just so funny, and so
I know. I love that book. It's so far my favorite of the year. Okay, so I am reading Guess Again by Charlie Donnelly. I think is how you
like
say
the
it. I know.
texture on
Yeah,
that cover.
yeah.
Yes,
Cute.
it is. It's like water droplets, and then it's
Mm.
spread on the.
okay.
Yeah, but I don't often pick up books that are written by men. I feel like
Yeah.
like not on
Mhm.
purpose, but
Mhm.
I'm flying through this one, and it's set in Wisconsin and a lot of Madison, Wisconsin. So
Ooh,
I know a lot of
fun.
the things they're talking about. So
Oh, neat. And now, so did you finish your next cowboy book that you had gotten at Barnes and Noble?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
ran through that one.
Yeah.
but I'm happy
Okay.
to be kind of off the Cowboys for a little bit. Like
Yeah.
this is
Really?
interesting because it's like a thriller and or like
Okay.
crime. I don't know if crime thriller. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading Counterfeit.
Oh,
one of
I read
the
that.
pretty.
I read that.
Yeah. Guess who I got this from?
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was
From
one of the
that big
books.
bag. Yeah.
Yeah, that Mom forced us to take her books.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm getting through that. There's a
I did like that
postcard in
book.
it.
Oh, is there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for ordering these gifts from the shop. Love, Kendall. You just threw
Aw.
away a letter from your son. Then you have
Oh, and
someone's
I
name
like.
on it.
So I was using that as a bookmark.
Yeah.
I like postcards for
Me
bookmarks.
too. Me
Yeah,
too.
so does Grandma, because some of her
Mhm.
astrology
Oh.
books has
Oh,
postcards
okay.
in them. But yeah, I'm doing the audio book of this one. But I do have the physical copy.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm also getting through Judge Stone.
Oh yeah. So
On audio or in the book?
In the book. I'm in the book.
Okay. I'm still doing Don't Call It a Comeback on audio.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Cute.
I know we're not going to talk about shows, but I do just want to say that I watched Maternal Instinct on Netflix.
I saw that.
It was really good. But,
Okay, I'll watch it.
I mean,
You
trigger
convinced
warnings,
me.
but yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, and I'm watching Shrill. I'm really liking Shrill with
Okay.
A.D. Bryant, I think is her.
Mm-hmm.
You pronounce her name? From
Nice.
Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice. And I am deep in Love Island. That
Yeah,
is
me
the
too.
only thing I'm watching because it comes on every day, basically.
Yeah, that's crazy because I feel like I always forget that it comes out that often, but I'm caught up now. So
And Love Island, is that on Netflix?
It's on Peacock.
it's on Peacock, or I
Oh,
watch
on
it on
Peacock.
Prime.
And
But-
is it in America?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love Island USA. And that's the
Yeah.
one that Grandpa was like, do you know they have porn on TV now?
I tell everyone that. I love it.
Yeah.
Because, like,
And
because I forgot who, Mom, I think you were there when we were talking about it, but someone was like, well, to people of his age, that is
Yes.
like,
Yes, totally. But he was yelling at me today because I was texting instead of calling my sister, because he hates texting too.
Oh my God.
So I just let it go. It's like, I don't have time to be saying hello, goodbye, all that. Like if I'm at work, I just need the answer to the question. I don't have time for all that at work, So
Oh my gosh, it's so
Okay,
funny.
on that note.
Yeah, Mom, sign us off.
Okay, well, I got to get ready for the biggest day tomorrow, so I'm going to eat some pizza and then go to bed. So, time to push that button.
Very
Cute.
good.
Okay.